And I'm David. And we're talking about Survivor.
It's week 8.
Yeah, and another sort of shocking elimination. A couple of things I didn't see coming in a row.
They're getting real sneaky with this editing.
They are. Yeah.
I am confused and not following what's happening.
Yeah, so after the last episode, when Jessica gets eliminated, we sort of come back and we see Joe's reaction. He's blindsided and he genuinely is like, good move, guys. Like, as a fan of the game, I gotta respect that. Like, I didn't see it coming.
Shocking.
So good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
But we also see Ben saying, we had a plan and we executed. So then you're like, oh, okay, because I was confused last week how Ben is no longer loyal to this one group and he's loyal to this other group, and when did that happen? Obviously it was just edited out because he's all like, this was the plan.
For sure. And he's sort of like, we had this plan, it worked, now I'm all in with this group, like this alliance is solid.
So that's the hustlers and the heroes working against the healers.
Yes.
It's still their goal.
Right.
So then pretty quickly we see Lauren finds this advantage that we had seen the episode before, but no one found it in the pile of nails.
Yeah.
She finds it.
Yes. So now she's got this extra vote, right? But the catch is she has to not vote at the next tribal council and play it off so nobody notices, and then she'll get an extra vote down the line when it really matters. I think she can use it at any point.
At any point, it seemed like there was no deadline mentioned, but I love the way that she had to play it out, where she had to slip in her advantage and seal the parchment for later.
Right.
So she literally has the parchment to write her second vote on.
I was wondering why she was stuffing the parchment back in her top. Yeah. It's because she has to save that?
Yeah, that's her second vote. So she has that parchment. So at any point, that could get lost or ruined, or someone could find it and be, you know, confused and figure things out.
Yep.
I really liked that advantage.
Yeah.
We have a reward challenge.
Yes. And the teams are a little bit lopsided, it seems at first, because Cole, JP, and Devin are all on one team together.
Like, whoa.
So you're like, okay, obviously they're going to win reward, but the other team does really well.
And they have good, athletic, competitive people on there too. I think they just have a good group right now.
But it was the muscle guys plus Chrissy and Joe and Ryan who end up winning reward. Because Joe drew to sit out and he automatically got reward.
Right, all of these teams are random. Yeah. And then they were like, randomly someone's going to get the white rock. They're going to sit out, but they automatically get the reward. Yes. That happens to be Joe.
Yes.
Ugh.
So that now, as the person who had to sit out, Joe gets this extra advantage going into the actual reward, which is this like spaghetti dinner.
It's a family style, he explains.
So they're all sharing, and they all eat privately.
But privately.
So you don't know how much each person is eating.
So that means we already see Cole's on this team.
Yeah,
so you're like, okay, Cole's gonna go in and eat half of it.
Right.
And there's gonna be nothing left for anybody else.
Right.
And Joe gets to decide the order.
Yes.
I assume Joe's gonna be a jerk. He usually is.
And go first and get all the food for him, but
not so much.
Joe's playing Survivor and he recognizes he's a huge target and he wants to get that target off his back. So he's playing nice and saying, I will eat last.
Yeah.
Devin, it's your birthday, you eat first. And then they just sort of work out the rest of the order from there.
Right. I was shocked that he was actually like, I need to build some relationships.
I know.
I was like,
who
what
knew
a great
that he had
idea,
that in him?
Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Devin goes, he eats his portion.
And it was a large portion, but a decent. He said it seemed like a sixth.
Yeah, yeah. Then JP goes, and at the end of JP's thing, the camera zooms in on the plate, and there's like a little something on the plate.
Word, like a letter, just a letter on the plate.
So you're thinking, oh, there's something under there that JP and Devin don't see. Then Cole goes, right?
Yes, Cole is the third to eat, and he's like, digging in, let's go to town. He says, it looks like the other guys ate more than their share, so I'm going to too.
Of course.
Of course. He eats enough that he sees there are actually words on this plate.
Yes. So he scoots all the spaghetti to the side and sees that there's an idol hidden under the flag on the beach, back at camp.
Shocked that he was smart enough to A, read a plate. And then B, try to hide it. And he pulls a napkin over, so like over the plate, but like the pasta is now piled and like all over this napkin.
Right, looks like a beautiful place setting.
Kind of worked, yeah.
Right. But then Chrissy goes and she's like, She's sitting there eating her spaghetti, sort of looking around, and she's like, I'm a student of this game, so obviously I'm looking for a clue.
And she's like in the tree, she's like looking at every little thing, and then of course she lifts up that napkin and is like, whoa.
Yeah, so she sees the clue now too, and she knows there's an idol.
She reads the plate and she's like, there's no way Cole or anybody else saw this. They're not smart enough.
Right.
I would have thought so too, Chrissy.
Yeah. So she finds it, and then she sort of makes this comment like, oh, I assume Ryan's gonna see this as well.
Yeah.
Sure enough, he does, but Ryan is smart enough to ditch the plate.
You guys.
I was like, what?
Went and buried it out in the woods. The plate.
Right.
I mean, luckily he was second to last.
Yeah.
So really it's only Joe coming up next to this pile of pasta.
On a
just
napkin.
on a napkin.
Yeah.
But like, that's so weird. Who has the balls to go hide a plate?
Yeah. But the thing about this is that like, Joe doesn't know any different. If he walks up and sees a napkin on a table with pasta on it, he assumes that's what everybody else saw. So Ryan's just like, I gotta make sure Joe does not see this clue because we do not need Joe getting another idol.
Exactly.
So going back to camp, it's just Ryan, Chrissy, and Cole who know about the idol.
Yeah.
And Cole gets back and decides to go to the bathroom immediately. So Ryan's like, his back is turned. I'm gonna go get that idol.
Which I had thought. I was like, obviously Cole's not really going to the bathroom. He's gonna go
That's
dig it
what
up.
I thought.
But no, he just went off.
To go to
So
the
that
bathroom.
Ryan goes real sly, real quick.
Yes.
Digs it right on up.
Right up. Sticks it right in his pants.
And
Chrissy comes over.
she's walking by and Ryan says, like,
He's like, I got it. Like, put it back.
yeah,
Whatever.
fix the sand or whatever.
So then Cole comes back from going to the bathroom, and it looks like Chrissy's trying to dig up the idol, even though she's like pushing the sand back.
But she's not doing it subtly at all. I feel
No.
like I would have like done it with my feet or just like
All right.
something.
Yeah.
She's down there like
Yeah.
playing with the sand.
Right. So then Cole comes bolting over.
Running.
And is like scooping dirt, and Chrissy's screaming and grabbing onto his arms and trying to get JP over, and everyone is like, what is going on? And then people figure out, oh, it must be an idol.
Big ol' hoopla.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny the way that it goes down because it's in Ryan's pants.
Yeah, and he's just standing out to the side
And
like...
he's not involved in this hoopla at all. So no one has an inkling
Yeah.
that he's got this idol.
Uh-huh.
They assume that they're fighting over an idol in the sand.
Right.
But nobody sees an idol, right? So it's
Right.
very confusing. What I don't fully understand, and maybe Chrissy didn't hear him completely.
Okay.
Maybe she didn't hear him say, I have it.
Uh-huh.
Because why did Chrissy yell for JP?
I think she was just trying to...
Make
I
it
feel
a
like it was
scene?
this coordinated thing between Ryan and Chrissy where they were trying to make Cole the
look-
target.
yeah.
And make it look like this guy's going for an idol.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to know it. We need to make him a target.
And that might be, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened.
And
And then in Ben's head,
Yeah, this was great.
he's like, I saw him tuck his shirt in. Cole's got it. So like, everyone's confused, but they're pretty sure Cole has the idol.
right. And Cole did not take a page out of JP's book. He did not drop his pants to show that he didn't have an idol, unfortunately.
David was wondering why.
Yeah.
Why not?
But he's just sort of like, well, I guess people think I have an idol, so I gotta go with it. You know, he doesn't really have a
Yeah.
plan.
Right. He's not really denying it too hard. He's
Yeah.
just like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was in your pants? He's like, no, I was just tucking my shirt in. But like, real like, just chill. Like, not
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
you guys, I promise I don't have it.
Yeah.
So he's like partially like, I guess I have to just bluff that I have an idol. He doesn't really know how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
I thought it was hysterical.
But he does say, like, I gotta go into this immunity challenge and win immunity at this point because everybody thinks I have an idol. I am target number one right now.
Yeah. And he was.
Yeah.
They are so over him. Immunity challenge.
Yes. Desi, Cole, JP are like the last three standing.
Right. Desi's the last girl standing, of course.
Yeah. Comes down to Cole and JP. Everybody on the tribe is rooting for JP to take it. But he just does not have quite the balance that Cole does, and Cole wins immunity, and now he's safe.
And
so
everyone's just like,
yeah. Everyone's like, great.
yeah.
Now we have to come up with a new
subtle
plan.
little eyes, right?
Yeah.
And we get back to camp. So Ben, Chrissy, Ryan, who are sort of the three that have been running things lately, are obviously still targeting a healer.
Yep.
Joe is someone they want out.
Yeah, he's an easy target.
But they also talk about how Desi is also super strong. She's great at challenges.
Yeah, so it
She
could be
could be a
either one of those.
target,
No
yeah.
one's really talking about Mike because Mike's kind of friendly with this side, even though he's a healer. I think he's not as much of a threat to them. So it's really just between Joe and Desi at this point because Cole has immunity.
Well, Cole and Mike were part of the Yawa 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they have that alliance anymore, but that's like they're the closest to the other group.
And everyone is still talking about like, what if Joe has an idol? Do we need to split the votes?
Yeah.
But then they're sort of...
And they also think Cole has an idol. They think Cole has an idol that he could play for Joe.
Yes, right. You never know.
So they're pretty sure they have to split votes.
Mm-hmm.
Joe now is very aware. Well, Joe now also knows that Cole doesn't. Cole's like, dude, I don't have it. Sorry. Like, I'd play it for you if I could, but I don't have it.
Yep.
And Joe knows he's on the bottom, so what does he got to do? He's got to have a strategy.
So he goes and talks to Ryan and Devin, saying, oh, Ben's running the show. Ben's a threat. We got to get Ben out. Like, you guys are just, if you take Ben to the final 3, he's going to beat you. And Ryan's like, I could see that. Ben has a great story and everybody likes him. And
but also,
I'm like,
you know what? Ryan thinks he's running the show.
Yeah.
He doesn't think Ben's
and
running
also,
the show.
like, it feels a little early to have conversations about, like, who you're going to bring to the final 3. There's so much time to get Ben out. Using final 3 as an argument to get Ben out now seems a little premature. But Joe's just sort of grasping at straws.
Meanwhile, Ben's right behind him in the bushes.
He's just right there.
He's all like, what?
Who said my name?
He's hearing it. He's onto it.
And he confronts Joe on the beach and gets...
He does not keep his cool.
Yeah.
He's attacking Joe, and Joe's making up stuff, which just pushes his buttons more, bringing up his Marine experience. Like, just unnecessary little tiff. But, you know, the two of them, whatever.
Given all the vote splitting talk that's going on, Lauren now realizes, oh, people are counting on my vote.
Right.
In
her
this
vote
math.
And
I'm not going to cast my vote.
Yeah.
So I got to tell somebody about this. So she goes to Ben because they seem to have a strong connection.
Yeah.
So she explains, like, I'm not going to vote because I need to get this extra vote for down the line when we really need it. So we need to figure out another plan. So Ben's like, we got to go to Mike. We got to get Mike over on the side. Well, and she was like,
we shouldn't split the votes. Like, we got to be just strong, vote out Joe or whoever. And he's like, no. It's too risky. We need to split the votes.
Yeah.
So he's like, we got to get a healer over.
So he goes to Mike and sort of is explaining the situation, like, oh, we don't have the numbers. And Mike's like doing the math in his head. And he's like, but you don't need me.
You guys have the numbers.
You do have the numbers. Yeah. So why do you need me? And Ben's like, well, you know, just in case something funny happens, we need you on our side.
So again, here's where editing comes in. Obviously, more is said, and I am very interested to find out, like, how much was revealed about this advantage or what could come up to mess up the vote numbers.
Right.
But obviously, the way that we go to tribal, we don't know who's voting for who and how many numbers are here and there and whatever.
Yeah.
Joe starts tribal pretty heated like usual.
Yes.
But then Ben is like a good guy and he's all like, I'm sorry for allowing him to upset me.
Yeah.
Devin's all like, I used to be a bright shining star and now I'm a zombie. Like, they're all talking about...
And Desi's like, I just want to play with honesty and integrity, and it really, like, the whole tribal flips the mood of it, like, halfway through.
They're all being, like, genuine.
Yeah.
Authentically, this game is hard, which we see every season, how it really affects these people. And Joe's tone is just like, like, he's got nothing else to say. Like, he can't be annoying all the time. Like, dial it down.
Yeah. So then they go to vote, and the first 2 votes are for Ben and Lauren, right? What? And I'm thinking, like, what is going on? I'm like, is there some plot to get Lauren out that I didn't know about?
Why is anyone voting for Lauren at this point?
Yeah.
And then it's Joe, Desi, Joe, Desi, Joe, Desi. And all of a sudden we have a tie.
A tie.
For Joe and Desi. Now, first off, there shouldn't be a tie.
There should not. Only 10 votes were revealed. And there should have been 11.
Second off, that's a lot of votes for Joe and Desi. Only 1 vote for Ben, 1 vote for Lauren.
Yeah.
Now, we should say Lauren played it off really well. She walks up there, she had it in her cleavage, and she, like, puts it in, and she, like, takes the scroll, and she puts it, it's like, she does not look suspicious at all.
No.
But so now we have a tie. Everyone has to go back and revote, except for the 2, Joe and Desi.
And Joe and Desi are the only options to vote for.
So I don't know how we communicated, how they had already decided who was going, but they sent Desi out.
Which I'm like, why are you doing that?
You have the opportunity. You know Joe is not protected by an idol right now.
Yes, get him out. Everybody hates him. He's actually a physical threat. He seems to have a little bit more strategy than I realized before this week. It just seemed like a great opportunity to get him out. and they didn't take it.
Right. I'm very confused. You're pretty confused. Please tell us if you guys have theories. The only thing that I could think of is that Desi is kind of like a silent threat.
Yep.
People like her. She's been flying under the radar. She just happened to have the bad luck of winning the first immunity idol.
And then coming really close to the second one.
Yeah.
I think maybe if she had thrown this immunity challenge a little bit earlier, maybe she wouldn't have been as big of a target. I mean, my thought was, Joe is a villain. And people are probably thinking like, look, even if you get to the final 3, everybody hates you, no one's going to vote for you. So you're not really a threat to win this game.
Right.
That may be where people's heads are at right now.
Maybe we'll get him out later, but even if we can't, I can beat him in a final 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have had a hard time not taking that opportunity to take him out.
Me too. And I totally got the tie thing, whatever, because they're splitting the votes. But then I thought on the revote, it's going to be unanimous Joe. Like, get him out of here.
Unanimous Joe. We know he doesn't have an idol. Let's do it. No need to split.
Yeah.
But no, 5 votes for Desi is all they show, and then that's it.
So she goes home, and then what I thought was interesting, the end of the episode when they show how everyone votes, was that they got Mike and Cole to come over and flip on Joe.
Now, those were the first round of votes, so we don't know how the second round ended up. But yeah, Mike and Cole both voted for Joe. So that, like, we didn't even see Ben talking to Cole. We only saw a brief conversation with Mike. So clearly more was said, and they really did flip.
Yep.
And it was clear that people flipped. And Joe says to Desi as she walked out, I didn't flip.
Yeah.
And that was true.
Yeah.
Those 2 were the only 2 who didn't flip.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see next week when they say, wait a minute, how did we have a tie with 11 people?
Yes.
I'm sure everybody was like,
noticed.
I don't understand what's going on.
And I'm sure there was probably something said that they just edited out, because how could you not say, like, why were there only 10 votes, Jeff? You know, someone probably said something.
But I don't think there's anything that would point to Lauren.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think ideally for her, it all would have flown under the radar, and then it would be a huge shock later on when she gets this extra vote. But now people are going to be sniffing around for information.
Yeah, especially since Ben brought up to other people that the votes might not turn out.
Yes.
So people could say, well, Ben kind of knew something, what happened?
Yeah.
But I don't know, unless Lauren told a lot more people than just Ben, it shouldn't get back to her.
Pretty
right?
safe, I would think.
I don't know.
So going into next week, we've got Lauren with this advantage. We've got Ryan with an idol. We've got Joe maybe on the bottom, maybe not. It's going to be interesting to see how it moves forward.
Yeah.
Because my thought now is that we're down to 3 healers.
Right.
And 3 hustlers, and we've got 4 heroes left.
Right.
So maybe it's time to get a hero out.
That's the thing. When do you stop thinking that the healers are a threat? Well, right now, for sure. Because 3, 3, and 4.
The healers have already started to flip on each other.
Yep. I would assume Cole and Mike are definitely joining forces elsewhere.
Yeah.
But where do those numbers go? Is Cole really the one in trouble next since they didn't take Joe out?
Yeah, I would think so. We'll have to see.
Alright guys, so we will see you in a couple weeks after the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
But please let us know your theories on why Desi over Joe.
Please.
Did you see that coming? And what you think about this, all of a sudden it's a tie split vote thing.
Yes, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.